Hello, everyone. I don't normally just come on live here on YouTube, but anyway, I am here. Facebook restricted my account. So I decided that I'm going to come in and do my 100 lives videos, 100 live videos in 100 days challenge here on YouTube. Since I can't do it on the other side. So anyway, here I am. My name is Michelle Yubala Rosa Kawano, and I am like scrolling right now because I can't see where everyone is. Okay, so anyway, it is what it is. I am, like I said, okay, let's start from the start. I was being raw, true, honest. Facebook restricted my account for whatever reason. And I have been doing a live recording every day for the past 39 days. And as I said, I was banned. I can't do any lives on Facebook, but that doesn't mean that I can't go live anywhere else. So, hear me clearly. Restriction is not a rejection. And I refuse to let one platform silence the voice that God has given me. So, what do? We pivot, we advance, and we keep moving because purpose is bigger than platforms. And I want to say, when I say purpose is bigger than platforms, I know what it's like to be silenced. As a survivor of domestic violence, I know what it's like to be stuck in the silence of domestic violence. And, well, I'm not going to be silenced anymore. And so maybe somebody's watching tonight that needed to hear that, just needed to hear that. Maybe life is restricting something, a relationship, an opportunity, your finances, your confidence, whatever it is, your dreams. But you cannot allow temporary setbacks to create permanent silence. So, welcome to day 39. I know it's after midnight because I had to figure all this stuff out. And like I said, I don't normally just come on live on YouTube. But here I am. Day 39 of my 100 videos in 100 days challenge. And tonight we're talking about something that can literally change your life. I am reading from this book, The Get Paid to Speak book by Kaylee Chu and Brian Tracy. And I have been training with Kaylee for a while now, and I was able to make the top 10 in the Next Top Speaker Challenge Season 5 and Season 6. In Season 5, I also took the People's Choice Award. So she knows her stuff. Anyway, so whether you realize it or not, your brand is already speaking to you because, like I said, there's a purpose in your life. There's a purpose for you to be doing the things that you do. And just because things like Facebook restricting me, it doesn't mean that you need to stay silent. It doesn't mean that you need to stay silent. Okay? So chapter 6 is building your brand, your personal brand as a speaker. So What is that saying, right? Let me look. Let me pull up this. In chapter 6 from the Get Paid to Speak, there was certain things that really stood out to me, and it hit me deeply because it talks about building your speaker profile, discovering your unique voice, creating your online presence, and using your social media strategically. But let me remind you that your Facebook, it really is not yours. It doesn't belong to you. So, as I can say, Meta can just ban you or close your account and whatever, and everything that you have there is gone. But the chapter also speaks about building real relationships and showing up authentically. And showing up authentically is exactly what I'm doing now because, like I said, I am not used to coming on here. I don't know where things are. I just am here. And I'm doing what I can do with what I am given. And that's the way that we should do it. So, branding. I think so many people misunderstand branding. Branding is not pretending to be perfect. Branding is clarity, it's consistency, it's connection. And like I said before, it is authenticity. Your brand is what people feel when they experience you. And in a world full of noise, realness stands out. So I have what is called the ALOHA Always framework, and I use ALOHA in everything I do. My podcast is Walking in Aloha. Let's Talk Story. My first book that I wrote and published, it's a award-winning book, and it won the International Impact Book Award, and it is now a finalist for the International Impact Book Awards Author of the Year. So I'll be going to Hollywood in October, but it is the thing that keeps me real, the Aloha Always framework, because I am here in Hawaii, born and raised here, and it is like a huge part of me. And I think if that was taken away and I had to fake it till I make it, it would not be the same. So that is where my authenticity comes in. So branding. As I mentioned before, your brand already exists because it is who you are. Jeff Bezos said that your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So most people who know me, they know me for me being local, Hawaiian, author, speaker. And whenever I travel, the people who know me, they know me for that aloha spirit. And so that's what it is. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So that's a lot. But that means every post, every interaction, every video, every attitude, every response creates a reputation, right? Your brand is not your logo, it is your energy, it is who you are. So tonight, I know it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, but it's dark outside. So I always say night. So tonight I need somebody to stop minimizing themselves because your story truly, truly matters, and your healing matters. Your journey matters. Everything that you are, everything you do matters. And a lot of times we don't realize, but the things that we went through also matters because of who we became. So the enemy wants you to believe that nobody cares, nobody listens, and maybe you're too late, or you're not polished enough. Maybe you need more credentials, or maybe you need more followers. Maybe you need something else. No, that doesn't create who you are, because God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And some of the most powerful voices online right now aren't perfect. They're just present. So in this chapter, they also talk about developing your speaker profile. Your speaker profile. This is powerful because people need to know you. They need to know who you are, what you stand for, what transformation that you bring. So let me ask you this. If someone landed on your page today, right now, would they understand your mission? Would they see who you are? Or are you hiding behind random postings? Do they really know you? Because your profile should communicate your purpose. It should communicate your values, your message, your voice. For me, as I mentioned before, what I stand for is ALOHA, healing, faith, identity, purpose, legacy, empowering women and men, and helping people use their voice. And once you become clear, other people become clear too. So when you go onto my page, you will, especially on Facebook, I'm not Facebook, but YouTube, you will see a lot of my podcasts. And that is what I do. Walking in Aloha, Let's Talk Story. And I bring guests from all over the world. I had the privilege of talking to people now from all over the world, like Spain and Saudi Arabia and South Africa and Australia and here in the US. So it is amazing what you can do when you give God your messy yeses and share your story, because your story is your superpower. One of the biggest mistakes people make online right now is trying to sound impressive instead of impactful. People connect to stories, and that's why I helped authors. I was working here. I helped authors write Voices of Aloha, Daughters of the King, and where's the other one? Voices of Aloha, Mighty Men of God, where real people, real life, shared their stories. And it is how it should be. People should people do connect with your stories. And people shouldn't hide from them. People shouldn't be made to feel like you cannot speak your story or tell your story. Like I said, being in the domestic violence situation that I was in for many, many years, I felt like I was literally losing myself. And I didn't want to talk about what I was going through. I didn't want to share it with people, because when you are lied to, when you constantly have someone telling you that no one wants to listen, no one cares, you start to believe it. But now I know different. Now I know different, because as I shared my story, as I wrote my book, and now that I get to speak to people all over the world, I know, and I know, and I know that your pain has power. Your survival has power. And your testimony, man, that has power too. You do not need to be a fake to grow. You know, actually, people are just exhausted by fake because with AI and with everything that goes on now, people don't know what to believe or who is telling the truth. But when you can speak from your pain, when you can speak from the place that somebody else might be sitting in right now and they can see that you made it through, that is powerful. So, like I said, people are actually exhausted by fake. What people crave now, what they need now is real, raw, honest, human. So you don't have to be all posh and perfect or whatever. You can be real, and people will resonate with that. They will connect with that more than having you be performing. So that's why storytelling is one of the biggest branding tools that you have. I share my stories all the time. I share what I've gone through. Um, I just shared with you now that I got banned from Facebook and I can't do live recordings on Facebook. The reason for that was because I'm also in the Entrepreneur of Impact with Damon Johns. And I didn't see anything wrong with what I was doing. I made it from, I don't know how many people started this whole thing. I made it to the top 5. And so that is like less than the 1% of entrepreneurs out there. And all of a sudden, I'm just on Facebook reading someone else's post, and then I get all these flashes of things that's popping up on my screen, and I'm like, "Oh, what is this?" And at first, I thought it was like a glitch or like I got hacked or something, but it was Facebook taking down each of those posts and posting. I'm not posting, but and telling me that this was taken down, this was taken down, this was taken down, and it was going so fast because they literally went back to April from the time this started and took off all of the posts. And it was listed as a cybersecurity violation. And so I spoke to someone there at Meta, and they said that um, they couldn't help me at the time. I just had to wait until an appeal was open, an appeal window was open, and then I can appeal, because from what I was explaining to them and the pictures, I did screenshots and everything. It had nothing to do with any of that cybersecurity, whatever. And so, yeah, that's why I say um, you don't own your Facebook. They can do whatever they want when they want. And the bad thing is that it is their tech that goes through and monitors the Facebook. So if the tech somehow thinks it is, then so be it, it is. And you're like, no. If you had a human being reading this and seeing the pictures, you would realize that it wasn't what they said that it was. So storytelling, as I said, is one of your greatest branding tools that you have. When you share what you've overcome, what God healed you through, lessons you've learned, and how you kept going, you create a connection. And that connection builds trust. And trust builds influence. So that is why it's so important to be real. And in section 4, social media and visibility, This chapter also talks about um, leveraging your social media and your online platforms. And let me tell you, that is why I even decided that I wanted to really come on, because people get so um, dependent on their social media. They get so dependent on what they've built and the following or whatever. But as I said with Facebook, right? I need to tell you something super important, super important. Do not build your identity on just one platform, because platforms can change in an instant. They can change overnight. Like I said, I was banned and everything was going fine until they decided that it wasn't. And that's just how it is. Algorithm shift. Like I said, accounts get restricted, pages disappear. But your mission, your purpose, that stays. That's why I'm here on YouTube tonight, because I'm not letting obstacles stop me. I'm not letting the fact that I was restricted from doing lives on Facebook. I have another platform. And sorry, I just feel like nothing should stop you. Don't let obstacles stop you. I'm not letting obstacles stop me, and you shouldn't either. Some of you are waiting and waiting for perfect conditions before showing up. But growth happens when you move scared. Consistency matters more than perfection. And I had a post earlier that confidence doesn't come like before action. You can't wait for confidence to happen without moving. Confidence happens as you move, it happens on the other side of that. So if you're waiting for more confidence, you're pretty much not going to get it until you get on and until you start showing up and doing your thing. So remember that it's not, confidence doesn't happen before the action. Confidence happens when you get through and do that action. And at the end of that, you'll be like, hey, I did it. I didn't die. I I made it, right? And it builds your confidence that way. So let's carry on. So in section 5, it's how to build a personal brand. A magnetic personal brand. So here are 5 things that make people unforgettable online. It's that consistency, showing up. Showing up. I have to get better at that because I don't post on the same time every day, right? So people know you're on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. They know you're on, then that's consistency. My schedule, crazy. So I come on when I can, and that is not very consistent to the algorithm. It doesn't train your algorithm to know that you're showing up. So show up, be consistent. And now I'm learning more about scheduling. So for me to be able to schedule timely posts, or schedule my lives or whatever, or schedule, actually put them in a schedule, will help me to be more consistent. And clarity. So you need to know your message. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. And for me, my message is that your voice matters, that Your voice is your superpower. Never forget your voice. Like I said before, I know what it was like to be silenced by domestic violence. Never want that for anyone else. And I don't just mean silencing your audible voice, I'm talking about your expression. So, I am a human rights consultant. I'm a certified human rights consultant, and 30 one of the 30 human rights that we all have, not later, not when you're in school, not but as you are created as a human being, you have this innate rights. You have 30 human rights. You are human, you have these rights. And one of it is the freedom of expression. That is, I believe, Article 19, freedom of expression. And when I speak about voice, that is what I'm talking about, is your expression. Whether you play the guitar or sing or cook or bake or do art, whatever, it is your expression of you. And that is your human right. So the one thing that I know, and I've seen it many, many times, and I speak about this, is that violating human rights, right? Violating human rights. That is the one that we do to ourselves. We violate the human rights of ourselves when we hold ourselves back, when we choose not to speak up, when we choose not to create, when we choose not to express ourselves. We are actually violating that Article 19 human rights against ourselves. So remember that. Remember that you need to be able to express yourself, and no one can take that away from you. So that is my message. And the clarity of that message is because of where I came from, right? And that authenticity. Number 3 is authenticity. Showing up real. Stop performing. Stop acting like you need to be the best and the best or whatever. Or sometimes people have those weird inflections and, the way they use the tone of their voice or whatever, but that is not how they really talk. And then you are looking at them like, why are you talking like that? Because they think they're performing. They're acting. And people are tired of that. I mentioned it before. People want real. They want authentic. So, and then number 4 is your service. People want to know what, like help people before selling to them. So they want to know what you have, but they don't want to just be sold to. They want to know, what do you have that can help them? I forgot who it was, but it's like, what about me, or it's all about me, or something like that. That's the way that most people are. They want to know, what can you do for me, right? And so help people before selling to them, serve them before, wanting to sell them something. And yeah, it's hard because, we all need food on our plate. We all need a roof over our head. But if you want to succeed, you're going to need to show people what you can do for them, not just what you can sell them. And number 5, as I mentioned before, is storytelling. Your story creates that connection, that emotional connection. So the 5, sorry, like how to build your magnetic personal brand, that 5 is consistency, clarity, authenticity, service, and storytelling. So those are the 5 things. People may forget your title, but they will remember how you made them feel. And it's so important because as I've done the Next Top Speaker, and now that I know that my message is impactful in so many different ways to so many different people. The Next Top Speaker, it's like the 7,200 people, or that's what it was this past one, 7,200 or more than 7,200 people applied. And in the application process, you go down to getting selected as the top 200, and then it goes to the top 100. When you're in the top 100, you get to do your speech online in groups. So the way they do it is that there's 10 groups of 10, and you do your speech, and then you get voted to carry on to the next round. So out of the 10 groups, 2 people from each group will be selected. And then you have 50 people. And then out of the 50 people, you do your speeches again, and they get down to the top 10. And then you do your speech again, and then you can see if you made it to the Next Top Speaker and win, or even place in the top 3. So, like I said, it is incredible how that works. And as you go through that, you really realize how much your voice matters to other people you don't even know. So never feel like your story doesn't matter. Now, the heart moment and encouragement, that is what I really, it really touched me. I have a hard time sometimes because as I'm doing my speech and I watch the audience, I feel like I'm going to cry too. So it's hard. Sometimes you got to compose yourself because you're the one speaking, but it's real. You're doing what you're doing. It's real life. So it's hard. But know what it feels like, right? To express yourself fully. Because I know what it feels like to doubt your voice. To doubt your voice. To feel like nobody wants to hear you. Okay? I know what it feels like to wonder, does anybody even care? Going through domestic violence is hard. It's hard, and it just wrecks the person that you are inside until you can find that way out. I had to actually escape. I planned my escape, and I went and I left and I never came back. But it is a serious thing. There's so many people that are caught in domestic violence nowadays. So you figure if there are, I forgot the statistics on that, but 1 in 3, 1 in 5, I forgot what it was, but something like that. It's a lot of people that are being abused, and they quiet themselves. Like I said, the silence of domestic violence. It is safer to stay silent when you're in that situation. But every day I show up. Every day I show up. Every day that I get on for my trainings, I remind myself, if God gave me the message, then he already prepared the people. So you may think that no one's listening or no one wants to hear what you have to say, but if God gave you a message, he's already prepared the people that you need to be serving. And maybe tonight you're one of those people. Maybe this is your sign to start the channel, use your voice, write the book, launch that idea to stop hiding. Because the world doesn't need another copy. The world truly needs you. And that is one thing that I encouraged when I spoke with the authors of these books. I helped 11 other authors to be published in these books. And I was telling them my story, which is already written in Walking in Aloha, 5 Steps to Living Your God Potential Life, and it's reaching people all over the world. My story may resonate with one person, but not with every person. And so I wanted to be able to write. So this is the way that it goes. I told God after he helped me and he said, I gave you everything in Aloha, and I was able to write Walking in Aloha, 5 Steps to Living Your God Potential Life. I said, I will publish every year. And so far, I have published every single year since then. And so I have Voices of Aloha. Let me pull this out. I have Voices of Aloha. That's my first book. I have 31 Steps to Mastery, which is the second. Voices of Aloha, Daughters of the King. And then Voices of Aloha, Mighty Men of God. And that makes up my now library of 4 books. And no, you know, look at it. It's not big, huge, long books. They're not. And I like it that way. I like it like this. So as an author, you can choose, right? You can choose to do your thing. So like I said, maybe this is your sign. Maybe this is your time, because the world doesn't need another copy. It truly needs you. So tonight, I want you to make a decision. Not be perfect, but to be present. To be truly present for you, for the you were yesterday, for the you that you want to be tomorrow, for your children, your grandchildren, for the person that is still sitting in that same hurt that you were in, right? Be present. You don't have to be perfect, but be present. So in the comments, I would love for you to type, I will show up. I will show up, just to show others that they're not alone. Because even through setbacks, through fears, even through restrictions and doubt, because purpose is stronger than the obstacles, right? Purpose is stronger than the obstacles. So remember this, your voice matters, your story matters, and your healing matters. I've seen it time and time again where people picked up my book and went through what I wrote and the questions and the activities that is in each chapter. And they went through their healing. I had one person say that she didn't want to reach out to me because she knew that this book would be hard for her to handle. And she got the book, and it's helping her to heal. And now she's helping other people. So remember that you were created by the Creator to be a creative, made in the direct image of God. So that is why, as a creator, He created creatives. Even if you think that you're not creative, there is something in you, something that He has given you and put inside of you to share with the world, not later, but right now. So if this message blessed you, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and join me tomorrow for day 40 of the 100 videos in 100 days challenge. It may be late again because, I do go to work. I work full time and I do my business, my speaking, writing, coaching, and all the things, my human rights, all the things. I am a M-type brain. Go Google that. But join me tomorrow. I would love to have you, love to see you again. And until next time, aloha, God's blessings always, and a hui hou.